Ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight to another edition of the NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup video game playthrough. Tonight we are Truck Series racing once again, race 23 of 25 on the season. Yes, just 3 races to go on the season as we head to Phoenix here tonight for the Chevy Silverado 150. It's going to be a very interesting race. Obviously, the points on the line. Our driver, Carl Edwards, the ones you guys voted for at the very start of the season, currently leads the points by just over 300 coming into this race today. But remember, 190 points is what you can score at the max. He opened up that points gap due to Travis Kvapil having a rough 11th place finish when Carl Edwards ended up going on to not only win at Martinsville last night, but as well lead the most laps and getting a max points day out of it. Likely won't clinch the championship today, barring a DNF by Travis Kvapil and a really solid run outside of that, but he's hoping to get himself even closer to a championship in this 2004 season. Ashton G, Oni, Kyle Larson fan, and Cars One Boy, welcome to the stream. Here we go. We are going to go racing tonight at Phoenix, and Travis Kvapil will start on the pole and lead the field to the green. Edwards on the outside pole in second. Green flag in the air. Car a little wide in turns 1 and 2 on the initial start. Bobby Hamilton Sr. is going to get down low as well. A 2x2 start as they go into the dog leg now down the back straights. Into turn 3. Travis Kvapil going to lead lap 1. 5 bonus points for him. Edwards had to fall back to 3rd. Hamilton looking to take the lead away. Hamilton maybe going to go a little too wide that time. Edwards is all over him off turn 2. Patrick Chatterley, welcome to the stream. Hamilton drives it in deep. He's going to get underneath Kvapil into turn 1. Is Edwards going to go for it all? He's going to attempt it. Oh, a little contact with Hamilton. He slides in the middle of the corner. Still clears the 24, and Kvapil's in the wall up turn 4. Hamilton to the lead at the line. Edwards to second. And Kvapil loses 2 spots in turns 3 and 4, going a little wide as he saw there and getting into the outside wall. Definitely doesn't want Edwards to lead a lap here early on. Edwards is going to fight for this 1 lap lead as hard as he can right now. Qualified second, but he was fastest in happy hour practice before the start of this race. $150 laps, 150 miles here on Phoenix tonight. Edwards underneath Hamilton off the exit of turn 2. Hamilton runs into the side of him. Hamilton pinched him down into the dog leg, ran him onto the curbing. A little bit of contact. Edwards had to do all he could just to keep that race truck on the track. Almost shot him down into the grass into the dog leg. Trying to get that low exit off turn 2 again. Gets underneath Hamilton. Has the bumper out in front again. Hamilton runs into the side of him. But Edwards is clear. Into turns 3 and 4. This time 5 bonus points. So Hamilton ran into him once. He ran into him a second time. But the second time Edwards gets by and he'll lead his first lap of the race. Already 3 different leaders in the first 6 laps. Jack, welcome to the stream. Edwards going to go a little wide off the exit of turn 2. Hamilton's going to get underneath him. And now Edwards does the same thing Hamilton did to him, and that time it didn't work for Edwards. A little bit of payback, and Hamilton is going to lead at the line. Look at him block Edwards all the way down to the inside wall. No lower Edwards could go there. Now he tries to back up turns 1 and 2, but he slid the tires. Hamilton's going to gap him that time. Kvapil almost ended up in the wall again off turn 4. Just drove it in just a tad too deep. Last time we were at Phoenix at a EA Sports NASCAR game, it was NASCAR Thunder 2004 for our final season there with the fan-voted driver Terry Labonte. And we got in a pretty gnarly accident at the end of that race, if I remember correctly. And it was kind of a wreck fest throughout as well. So we'll see. We're only 10 laps into this one, but it's a very difficult racetrack. A lot tighter with the grass in the infield and that less excess pavement that you would see now, especially down the backstretch, what is now the front stretch. Going to start finish line with this older configuration. It's right there as well. Edwards hugs the curbing. Hamilton really pinched him down again, but Edwards holds on to it. And a clean pass clear off turn 4. Second time Edwards has led early on. Hamilton drives it in extremely deep. It's not like Edwards really went too wide off the exit of turn 2 that time. Hamilton just barreled it in there. Now Hamilton runs him up the track again and nearly into the wall again. Into the inside wall. Hamilton is being extra aggressive here. And remember, Bobby Hamilton Sr. is third in the point standings. He still has a shot at a championship. He's probably going to need Edwards to DNF twice to even get back into the championship hunt, but it's not impossible. And racing him as hard as he is right now for the race lead early, he might be trying to wreck him at this point. Edwards into 1 and 2, side by side. Will he get around Hamilton again? Yes, he will. Clear. Quaffel's starting to lose a little bit of time, despite the fact that the 4 and the 99 are battling very, very aggressively. Edwards gasping a tiny bit there in 3 and 4 that time. Third different time Edwards has led early. He drove it in a little too deep that time in 1 and 2. Hamilton closes back in on him slightly. Hopefully we have a good race. Yeah, hopefully. Hamilton's ran into us 3 times already. He gets alongside of us fine, but then he just doors us every time. Waffle's not going anywhere, although he slid back a little bit. I mean, he's still within a second of the race lead. Be interesting to see if this is going to be a 1 pit stop race as well, just like last night in Martinsville. We had 2 cautions in last night's race, both in the final 100 laps. A 200 lap race around a half-mile short track. This is a 1 mile flat short track. Waffle going to try to get back around Bobby Hamilton Sr. Bobby Hamilton drives it in deep into 3 and 4, hooks the bottom lane. And he is all over the left rear now of Carl Edwards for the lead. And Edwards is going to block Hamilton just like Hamilton blocked him. He does not want to give Bobby an opportunity. Not even to get alongside of him, really. He doors him every time he does get alongside of Carl Edwards. Hamilton a little wide that time off turn 4. Quaffle to the inside, and they're side by side for second place. Edwards a little loose into turn 1. He made a mistake. What a crossover by the 4 of Bobby Hamilton Sr. to get to the inside of Carl Edwards again. He made a clean pass that time. Edwards just kind of missed his marks just a tiny bit off turn 2. And I don't know how Hamilton got back to the bottom of Travis Quaffle after being on the outside there initially. Edwards drives it extremely deep into 1 and 2. Gets back underneath Bobby Hamilton Sr. once again. These guys are going back and forth. This time Hamilton doesn't door him. And Edwards makes a clean pass on him right back again. A little slide up the track, and now a crossover move by Bobby Hamilton Sr. Edwards scrapes the wall up turn 4. Giving the momentum to the Ford truck on the bottom. And Quaffle's up to second, looking for the lead once again. He wants a chance to get the most laps led. He was only able to lead the first 2 laps before Hamilton got around him. Edwards back underneath Quaffle off the exit of turn 4 for second. The top 3 in points, run 1, 2, 3. The start of the race here at Phoenix. Edwards clears Quaffle off turn 2 for second, trying to block him now into the dogleg. Really narrows up off the exit of the dogleg before entering turn 3. Especially with having such a wide exit to turn 2. And again, Edwards trying to look down low. Can he get underneath Hamilton and beat him into 1? Gets to the inside. And clears him. Hamilton trying to get the crossover. Edwards with a block. Indeed, R6, it was definitely a close race. Man, Hamilton is right there, really putting the pressure on Edwards once again. Oh, Hamilton got really tight. Yeah, far up the track he went in the middle of 1 and 2. Quaffle gets to the inside on corner exit now. Overdrove the corner trying to dive it underneath the 99 of Edwards. Trying to outbrake him, and it just did not work. The truck did not hold to the inside of the racetrack, and Quaffle will clear him for second place off turn 4 himself. We'll see if Travis Quaffle might have anything now for Carl Edwards. It is a 3-horse race early on. Everybody else is further back. These guys still quite a ways from lap traffic because of how badly they're battling each other right now. Yeah, last night's race came down to a bump and run attempt in the final lap of the final turn. You never know what this one could end up turning out to be. Mark Handel tried to get his first win of the season last night, trying to move Carl Edwards out of the way. Running him back down those final 6 laps from about a second back. And Edwards, luckily, he was able to hold his line despite getting moved a tiny bit off the bottom of the racetrack and came across the finish line first to win the first race for himself at Martinsville. Bobby Hamilton Sr. won the first race there. One of the few tracks we go to twice on this Truck Series schedule. So Darlington and Homestead will round the season out after Phoenix tonight. Tomorrow night on the channel, we will have the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode at Richmond. The second race of the round of 16 in the playoffs there. We'll see if we can maybe get a win and advance ourselves to the round of 12. Second place finish in the Southern 500. Martin Church Jr. had a last lap pass for the win in overtime on Ryan Blaney in that one. Schneider an extremely close second place, and the caution came out on the final lap in the middle of turns 3 and 4. That ended the race. So Truex is locked into the round of 12. Still got 11 spots open for 15 drivers battling for those 11 spots. Right now, we have a championship of our own to close in on, with just 2 races remaining this season. Again, after tonight, of course. We're starting to run a little bit more consistently as we get now 30 laps into this race already, still caution-free. A little wide. Off the exit of turn 4, Quaffle's going to have a run into turn 1. I don't know if he intentionally went to go up that high, but Definitely didn't work out for him. Slight mistake that Edwards had off turn 4, and Quaffle closed in quite a bit. Hamilton's still right there in third place, too. He's not going anywhere either. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in this race tonight at Phoenix. Remember, this before Phoenix even had lights. So we're running in the daytime. You can see the Goodyear blimp up there in turns 3 and 4 as well. You know, it's a NASCAR sanctioned race when the Goodyear blimp is hovered above the racetrack to give the aerial views. Oh, yeah. Oatmeal cereal. It's the way to go in the morning. Oh, Hamilton got around Travis Quaffle and cleared him off the exit of turn 2. Quaffle wasn't really putting a lot of pressure on Edwards like Hamilton was there for a little bit. Hamilton finally was able to get around him and was like, okay, you're not going to do it, I'll try to do it. Hamilton almost got in the wall off the exit of the dog leg. Yeah, growing up, Cinnamon Toast Crunch was always my favorite. I'd say it's still my favorite. Oh, man. Edwards overdrove turn 1 quite a bit there. And Bobby Hamilton Sr.'s underneath him. Oh, man, almost some contact. Edwards trying to side draft Bobby Hamilton as much as he could. Has to block Quaffle in the middle of turns 3 and 4, and Bobby Hamilton Sr. quickly got around Quaffle, quickly gets around Carl Edwards, and has the race lead once again. Edwards deep into turn 1 and 2. Looked like Hamilton just about shut the door on him. And Edwards now with a block. Hamilton going to try to cross him over. And the dog leg, he gets into the side of him. Again. And here comes Quaffle. Still side by side for the lead on turn 4. At the line, Hamilton by inches. Edwards really trying to pinch him and side draft him now. Hamilton clear, and now Edwards is going to be the one to try the crossover. Is Hamilton going to try to pinch him again? Not as much right there. Halfway on fuel right now in this one. Big time slide job in 3 and 4. Edwards clears. Hamilton trying to cross him over. Edwards with a block at the start-finish line. Bobby a little wide in turns 1 and 2, and now Quaffle will get to his inside for second place. Things heating up. Hamilton with a block, though. Holds the bottom now. Drives it deep into turns 3 and 4, trying to get back to the 99 of Edwards. Hamilton definitely makes it more interesting than what Quaffle has. I don't think Quaffle's got as strong of a race truck as the 99 and the 4 have. Really saw Edwards slide the tires getting into 1 that time, but he still holds on to the lead. Hamilton's still right there on him. Oh, off the curb for Hamilton. Didn't really affect him at all, though. He drove right through it. Does go a little bit wide. Maybe he messed his corner entry up, and look at him dive to the bottom, trying to protect the inside and trying to let Travis Quaffle know he's going to have to pass him on the top if he's going to get back around him again. So already halfway on fuel. This is shaping up to likely be a one pit stop race today. It's a little wide off the exit of 4. Gonna try to shut the door into turn 1. Hamilton had a big run down the front straightaway. Got a slow truck on the inside of the racetrack. That would be, I believe, the 18. Oh, wow. Edwards really missed his corner that time in turns 3 and 4. Here comes Hamilton. Almost got there. Edwards with another block. Cutting it close, that's for sure. Hamilton drives it deep. He kind of clips the apron. He goes up the track. Back to the bottom, though. Hooked it enough to get back underneath Edwards. Oh, man, he's just not giving Edwards more room again. Now Quaffle's underneath him for second as Hamilton's going to get back to the lead. What I meant to say, though, was Chad Chafin is in the 18 truck. He was a driver who had blown an engine there. Quaffle still cannot quite clear Carl Edwards. Edwards hanging in there on the outside. We're going to try to dive bomb it now into turns 3 and 4. Back to the inside and crossing over on Quaffle for second. Got him clear off turn 4. Trying to run back down the Ford truck of Bobby Hamilton Sr. We have traded the lead away numerous times already. 99. 24 Quaffles at least led a couple laps in this race. Right front starting to wear now at this point. The run just shy of lap 50. A surprise flatter racetrack. This guy's definitely using a lot of their equipment here. Oh, he gave a little bumper to the back of the Ford truck that time. Hamilton's gotten into the side of him a couple times. Now he tried to squeeze Edwards. Well, helps him hold on to the lead, I guess. DB Forever 85, Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream, guys. Why did I pick Carl Edwards? I did not pick him. You, the fans, picked him. Yeah, we had a, for all 3 series with this NASCAR 05 playthrough, I'll let you guys fan vote before the start of the season for each series at Daytona. You guys were going to pick the driver who was going to run, and you guys picked Carl Edwards. So I was running as Carl Edwards. Kind of cool. He's in the 99 truck. That's what we run on the career mode, so. It's a Roush guy, too. Obviously, my favorite driver was Greg Biffle when I was younger, so. He was a Roush guy, of course. Look at it. Oh, Hamilton thought about blocking him. Thought better of it. And the top 2 are starting to pull away from Quaffle once again. Thought Hamilton was going to be able to slip back underneath Edwards with a crossover, but Edwards was really aggressive with the block. These guys have been battling hard. I don't think there's any signs of it letting up anytime soon. Still 99 laps to go at the line with the 99 truck out in front now. Yeah, Brad Keselowski did the 6 for the Cup Series, of course. Roush did come out and say that they don't have any plan set in stone for Newman, but they're looking at a part-time schedule for him to run next year. If he does choose, Newman doesn't know what his plans are for next season yet, so there's no guarantee. But I guess if he can't find a full-time ride somewhere, if he still does want to race part-time, then Roush will have something for him. I don't see him running the super speedways, though. I feel like he'd run Dirt Bristol. Really good dirt racer. He had a top 5 there earlier this season, too. I feel like he'd run Dirt Bristol on a part-time schedule, and he'd probably just stick to the short tracks, honestly. Somebody else up in smoke now in turns 3 and 4. That'd be the 22 of Bill Lester. Tough break for him. He's in the top 5 of the point standings. Came in 5th in points into this race, and he might drop a spot or two by the end of it. I would slid the tires a little bit, getting into 1 and 2. He's opened up nearly a half a second lead now on Bobby Hamilton Sr., lap 55. Still caution free. We're going to be seeing some green flag pit stops anywhere in the next 10 to 20 laps. Seeing some guys come in for the first and only pit stop of the race, right around the halfway mark. Edwards going to commit to staying out as long as he can to make sure he can make it on one pit stop in this one. When he got to halfway on fuel, he was pacing as if he could go to about right at lap 75, 76. So he's going to really try to, again, push as far as he could, as far as he can. He did have an issue with running out of fuel at New Hampshire, though a lot of it could have been because of a green-white checkered finish, running past the scheduled distance, but still doesn't want that to happen. That was a 1 mile racetrack as well. So you can kind of see the parallels. It'll be interesting to see not only what Keselowski can do, like, say, next year with Roush Fenway in the 6th car, to go back to that real quick, but also just what he can do in the longevity at Roush Fenway now that he's a part owner. How much say is he going to have initially? What's the future of Roush Racing going to look like with Keselowski doing all the work behind the curtain? Down the road, of course. Left front starting to wear out a little bit more now as we get very deep into this run. Carl Edwards seems to be the fastest truck on the racetrack now. It's out to about a 6/10, 7/10 of a second lead roughly. He's finally breaking away from Bobby Hamilton Sr. Quaffle continues to lose a little bit of ground, but green flag pit stops will be coming up soon. We'll see if Hamilton will try to pit first and get out ahead of the 99 of Edwards. And also lap traffic is about to come into play here for the first time today, likely either right at the green flag pit stops or just before them. I think Edwards should get there before the start of them. And we'll see if Hamilton can reel him back in there as well. I mean, just once he gets to that dirty air, that alone can really try to help Bobby Hamilton Sr. claw back into this deficit. We did have a caution in the middle of green flag pit stops yesterday at Martinsville as well, so knowing that, you don't want to get trapped a lap down if you have to pit early, but Edwards just going to take it as far as he can on fuel. A little contact with some lap trucks up here. Bob Spear and Carl Richards. The 106 and the 152 truck. Spear completes the pass with a little bump and run in 3 and 4. They're trying to get away, knowing Edwards is right behind him. Edwards slides the tires into 1, trying to drive it in deep. Somehow got it to stick despite sliding the tires into the corner. Gets around Richards. He's underneath Spear. Clean pass on both of those guys. So So already a 1 second lead now as he's passed the first 2 lap trucks at lap 64. And again, still caution free. Oh, Wesley Schmidt into the wall off turn 4. Edwards cleared him with a clean pass, but he's got really tight. Maybe he got back in the gas a little too soon as well. Edwards quickly slips around Adam Bell. Schmidt got really out of shape. I thought he was going to wreck there for a second. Kevin Quinn up here. Mark Handel just ahead of him. Handel came in a close second place finish last night in Martinsville. Had a very good run. One of only the 9 drivers that finished on the lead lap in that race. Lead still finally growing out to now a 1.5 second lead. So it seems like Edwards is getting through the lap traffic a lot better than what Travis Quaffle and Bobby Hamilton Sr. have. Very low on fuel at lap 68. Again, not looking to save fuel this run, just looking to push hard, run it all the way out. Then if he needs to save any by the end of the race, he will, but really trying to get a good read of it for right now. Doesn't have a big lead to be saving fuel either at this point. Only 1.5 seconds. Maybe they can get a quick pit stop and go from there. In that happy hour practice session, did practice getting onto pit road here at Phoenix. So, not a lot of practice this season. Only the second race, both in the last 2 as we get closer to the end of the season, trying to make sure we lock this championship up as cleanly as we can. Don't want to make any mistakes as we see our first comers onto pit road. That last lap, we started seeing some drivers make it on into the pits at lap 69 to lap 70. Lap 71 now at the line. Edwards still out. Bobby Hamilton Sr. stayed out another lap as well. Unaware exactly if Quaffle has pit or, again, when he will pit, but we'll keep an eye on Bobby Hamilton Sr. Once that interval changes pretty drastically, that's when you know at least he'll come to pit road. Just can't really tell on the track map. And they're a little bit too far back out of the rear view to really tell as well. So somebody else up in smoke on pit road that time as well. So that's the 3rd driver we've seen with an engine issue in the first half of tonight's race. But again, we've stayed green through it so far. See, these guys pitting right now, though, will they be able to make it on fuel to the end of the race? A 1.9 second lead now. Boy, Edwards really trying to stretch it. This is going to become a lot closer of a fuel mileage race than what we were originally expecting. He's trying to make it to halfway. It's the last thing Edwards wants to see while leading the season championship this late in the season, having a fuel mileage race that might take things out of his control a little bit. Maybe even the playing field a little bit more for everybody else. He's had such a dominant season so far to have this big of a points lead. We are at lap 75, so it'll be halfway at the start-finish line this time by. We'll contact with the lap trucks further up ahead as well. And he's going to try to stay out one more lap. It's going to be a risk. He doesn't want to run out of fuel here. He's got a 2.2 second lead. Still unaware when Bobby Hamilton Sr. or Travis Quaffle may have pit or not. So lap 76. Edwards will come into the pits this time. So he goes one lap in. This should make it good to the end pitting right now. I can't see him burning up more fuel than what he had on this opening run. 70 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit at every track in the NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup video game. No adjustments to this 99 car. It is fast. He got out to a 2.2 second lead. Coming into the pits, Travis Quaffle will cycle back out as a leader. He's still on the racetrack, maybe hoping to catch a caution and trap Edwards and a lot of these guys a lap down for him. So this is definitely makeable to have a one-stop race to the finish. Edwards went 76 laps into the opening run, which means he only has to go 74 to the end. So 2 laps less. I would have to assume he will make it. It'll still be close, but he should make it as long as we don't have a green-white checker finish, of course. Tough to tell exactly where on the racetrack Bobby Hamilton Sr. might be, and Travis Quaffle finally comes into pit 2 laps after Carl Edwards. So he goes out there, he leads a couple more laps. He's doing what he can. Edwards just unlapped himself at the start-finish line there, so in case we do get a yellow, he'll still be on the lead lap. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Nice to have those 4 fresh Goodyears back on the race car. It's like Aaron McGee in the 163 truck is now out in front, getting 5 bonus points, leading a lap there. He's in the top 10 of the point standings. And there's Travis Quaffle just staying out 2 laps longer. Look at how much further ahead Carl Edwards is going to cycle ahead of him. Edwards had a couple seconds on Quaffle before the pit stop, so anyway. And Edwards should cycle out as the leader once he gets around Aaron McGee, who is still leading, but he is now on pit road as we speak. So lap 80, still caution-free. Carl Edwards back out in front. It'll be an official lead change when we get back to the start-finish line this time by lap 81. A 2-second lead for Edwards, so the gap narrowed just a tiny bit, 0.2 of a second gained during green flag pit stops for Bobby Hamilton Sr., but that was it. He's still 2 seconds off the race lead. Edwards trying to get around more lap traffic. He'll have to continue to do that to the end of the race, especially if we do stay green to the finish. Side by side right in front of him with really nowhere to go. He'll take it 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. This could get pretty tight into the dog leg, but Jack Baker on his outside was luckily able to clear his truck to his outside, so they were only side by side into the dog leg instead of 3 wide. A tight area of the racetrack. Again, there's no apron to corner cut it like you would nowadays. You don't want to go into the grass. You want to stay off that curbing as much as possible because it really throws the racetracks around. 53 tonight. Waiting for the official results to come in. There you go. I shot an 83 today. I can't get good luck anyway. I had a good chance to shoot in the 70s. All I had to do was par the last 2 holes, and I bogey and double bogeyed both of them. Or I double bogeyed 8, and then I... No, I had it right. Yeah, I bogeyed and then double bogeyed. I just had like my worst shots of the day on those last 2 holes. I had 3 birdies too, so it was like just like really inconsistent. The way I started hot. I was basically playing darts on the greens. Birdied the first 2 holes, and then the other birdie I had would have been the 4th to last hole on 15. I got a birdie there also. But all 3 of those shots, I put my approach shot within like 6 feet of the pin. I mean, by just throwing darts out there. The duo on the first 2 holes, that was pretty insane. Like the first hole was like, okay, that's a good start. And then the second hole, I was within like 2 feet. I was like, oh my goodness. I think I only had like 3 or 4 more greens in regulation the rest of the day after that. I think I finished with like 7 or 8 total. I try to get at least 9 because I'm good enough at chipping that if I can get it close to the green at least, like I'll still have a good shot at par. But I think that's what's been hurting me with my streak of like struggling to get back into the 70s, like I have been the last few years. The last 2 months, I do it every now and then, but not as consistently. I'm like in the low to mid 80s a lot. And I think that's why it's just I'm not making my first putt a lot because my chips are still good. They're not bad, but they're not within like guaranteed 4 to 6 feet every time. It's like sometimes they're like 10 feet away and banking on trying to make 10 footers the entire time versus 4 footers the entire time. My putting's good, but I mean it's hard to make those consistently. And I think that's why I'm just like 4 to 6 strokes like worse these last like couple months on average compared to where I was last season. Um, Pretty much last season and the start of this year. Because everything else feels the same. Still bombing drives and putting for the most part. Still good. Chipping. Like everything's still good. It's just the approach shots maybe just a little bit off. Today it was just inconsistent. Had a par in one. What, on a par 3? Talking like you like went out of play and then you hit it again and you. That's insane. I don't think I've had a hole out longer than 50 feet before. I've chipped one in a couple times from like 56, or not 50 feet, I meant 50 yards. But I've chipped a couple in within like the 50 to 70 yard range, but that's as far as I've chipped one in before. I thought today would have been a good day to like hole one out the way I started off those first 2 holes. So I know I have it in me, that I could just do that consistently. Just give it a few more years is what I keep telling myself. It's like I'm just gradually getting better every year. If I could just do that like 3 years from now consistently, I'll be a scratch golfer. Oh, you parred the first hole. Gotcha. Yeah, when you said par one, I was thinking like you were on a par 3, and like you went out of play or went into a hazard, and you teed it up again for your third shot, and you made it. I don't know how I'd feel if I did that, because like that's the same spot you hit from to try and get a hole in one would be a par. So I don't know like how I would like handle that, especially in league where you'd have to count it as a par. You can't just say like, oh, I had a hole in one. I basically took a mulligan. Like, gap is widened out since the start of this second tire stint of the race, but a caution will change everything. We had a caution with 30 laps to go last night at Martinsville, and we had 2 of them in the second half of the race. Caution free so far in this one to lap 93. This thing is flying by. We have, again, not had a caution yet. The stream is only about 45 minutes old, and the race itself is just under 40 minutes old, so we are flying through this one with this massively quick race pace. Jake Bradley and Scott Bush will be the next 2 lap trucks. Just up ahead of Carl Edwards. Edwards going to drive underneath Bradley. Off turn 4, Bush on the outside as well. Likely going to give him room. Seems like these lap trucks have been very courteous of Carl Edwards. That's the key. You really do want to make rivals, not make rivals. You really do want to make allies as much as possible in these EA games. It just goes to show how clean we ran that we don't have any rivals currently. We did at the very beginning of the year. We had a couple run-ins, but nothing too major. And Edwards hasn't had bad luck. I mean, I guess he did at New Hampshire, running out of fuel late, finished 22nd, I think. And then at Daytona to start the year, he finished 30th. Just had a bad run there. Lost the lead draft on the final restart. And Just ended up finishing last car in the lead lap, unfortunately. But outside of those two bad finishes, he's been pretty solid. He's only had 4 finishes outside the top 10 all season long. It has been a very dominant year for him. And no DNFs as well. Even though his worst finish of the year at Daytona to start the year was 30th, no DNFs. And the only race he did not finish on the lead lap would have been New Hampshire when he ran out of gas coming to the white flag. It was actually with 2 to go. On that restart into overtime, he ran out turns 1 and 2, and by the time he limped it back around to the checkered flag, the leaders had passed him to put him a lap down, so that trapped him in 22nd. It's always a huge momentum booster though when you can like par or birdie the especially when I birdied the first 2 today, I thought I was gonna go like with a crazy score, and then sure enough I ended up with an 83. That wasn't ideal. Carl Edwards has just clinched the most laps led. We'll have 50 laps to go. This time at the line, 100 laps will be completed as well. 2/3 of the way home. 3-second lead now for Edwards. Next lap truck ahead of him is the 82 of Billy Watson. Watson running high through 1 and 2. He's giving Edwards plenty of room to get under him off the exit of the corner. Another very courteous lap truck. Edwards off the curbing. Watson gave him a ton of room. He's able to drive right past him going into turn 3. And unless the lap traffic gets super, super heavy, they start racing him like Bobby Hamilton Sr. was for the lead in the first third of the race, I don't see Hamilton or Quaffle running down Edwards if it stays green to the finish. All it takes is a caution. We saw what that did last night to bunch the field back up late. What will it do in this one? And that was the race last night, too, where Edwards just started pulling away. He had just over a 1.5-second lead. He was really starting to pull away in the second half of that race. And then all of a sudden we had that caution. And he was never able to get back away from Mark Handel to the finish in those final 27 laps when they went back to green. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the next 4 laps for the final time in tonight's race. And if we do clinch the championship early in the next race at Darlington, we will still run the Homestead race to finish off the season. Even though I could just simulate it, but that's alright, we'll run it. That's if Edwards can obviously clinch the championship race early. We'll have to wait and see. Ideally, he would like to, because you never know what can happen. Definitely couldn't ask for better luck this season, so far at least. Just hoping it finishes out the same way. He's got just over 40 laps left in this one, and then he'll have 2 more races. He doesn't care for bad luck at Homestead if he clinches the championship early. Go back to the far chase cam for the rest of the race. Got 5 lap trucks coming up here pretty soon. To a 3.2 second lead. Probably the largest lead that Edwards has had in quite some time. The last time I can remember him being this far, if not further out ahead of the field, I believe, is Richmond. He dominated that race. He almost took it 3 wide into the corner. He drove it in deep like he wanted to. He should probably just sit back and relax for right now. Drove 1 and 2 just a slight bit. Again, he does clear McGee off the exit of the corner, though. 40 laps to go at Phoenix. And off the curbing. Edwards just kind of falls in line behind this next lap truck. Andy Lyman in the 164, I believe. Yeah, 164 truck, really holding him up. That was similar to what Bobby Hamilton Sr. was doing earlier. And he's going to have to get around Lyman as quick as he can, because Lyman is not running a pace quick enough right now, but he is trying to stay on the lead lap for all he can, obviously. Oh, contact! There might be trouble going into turn 3. The 191 got ran into from behind. Might have bounced into the wall and checked everybody up, and Edwards got into the back of Lyman. Has to throw a block to stay in front of Aaron McGee. And now that lead from 3.2 is down to 2.6 all of a sudden. That really checked up Edwards. A little bit of damage to the front of his race truck as well. Side-by-side lap traffic up ahead. That's not going to help. I thought for a second we were going to have our first caution of the race, and it was going to happen right in front of Edwards. Race leader, that would not have been ideal for him. Gets underneath Lyman off the exit of the corner. The 192 truck is there. The 3 wide. A little bit of contact with Lyman now into the dog leg. Underneath Chris Sweeney in the 192 truck now, and he'll get around him in turns 3 and 4. So about halfway on fuel. At the line, 35 laps to go. Already about 38 to 39 laps into this run. He only had to go 70, so should be a few laps to the good on fuel. If we get any more cautions, obviously it's only going to help him even more. But he does not want to see any cautions from here to the end. Can Hamilton put together lap times like he did in those first 50 laps to put the pressure back on Edwards like he did at the beginning of the day? Off the exit of turn 4, another lap truck trying to pinch down Edwards. Paul gets underneath him though off the exit of the corner, drives it deep into 1 and 2 as well. And he'll get around the 134 truck with a clean pass there. Still 2.6 seconds. There's still plenty of time for Hamilton. Laps do tick away pretty quickly here at Phoenix, but still got time. Back out to 2.7 again as well. Got down to 2.6 for a brief moment. Edwards kind of overdrove 1 and 2 a tad bit there. Really wants to get around Jason Powell on the 191 as quickly as he can. Wesley Schmidt in the 117 truck's just up there as well. And Schmidt now has a truck underneath them all of a sudden. Jason Powell, so now they're side by side with 30 laps to go, right in front of the race leader. So Edwards just going to follow Powell to get by Schmidt. Schmidt going to go 2 laps down now. Even during the cycling of green flag pit stops, Carl Edwards has not been worse than 4th in the running order all day long. He's already clinched the most laps led, so it would be back-to-back max points days if he can go to victory lane here tonight at Phoenix like he did last night at Martinsville. Edwards has a run down the backstretch into 3, finally gets underneath Jason Powell, and he'll put him a lap down, clearing him off the exit of turn 4. Lead stretched back out to 2.8 seconds at the start-finish line. 28 to go. Powell looking to get back to the inside of Edwards. Drives it in deep. Got really tight. Kind of clipped the apron a little bit as well. And Edwards stays in front of him and will now try to pull away from him. Yeah, NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode will continue again on the channel tomorrow at Richmond for the second race of the playoffs, round of 16. 9 races to go to crowning a championship in the Career Mode for the Cup Series and the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode or Rookie Cup Series season nonetheless. And likely our last. For the Career Mode. Just don't think I'll be able to get another full season in before the next NASCAR game comes out because we don't know the date yet. So I don't want to start it and then not be able to complete it before the next NASCAR game comes out. We still have 18 races left of the custom schedule season 2, so it's likely not going to happen. So we're going to have to go out on top. I mean, the only other thing I can do is I run another season. We just scrap the custom schedule season, which would stink because we're halfway through it, and I don't want to do that. It'd be the only way to run a second season of the Career Mode just to try and, for the Cup Series at least, just to try and get that championship. We only got 2 wins in a rookie season, but we'd be a lot more competitive. It's kind of slid the tires on corner entry into 1. No big deal. Leads down to 2.5 seconds that time. The exit of the corner. Did get to 2.8 again there for a little bit. Edwards was pretty good on the long run last time, but maybe Bobby Hamilton Sr. made some adjustments to maybe help his truck get better on the longer run, so that way he wasn't going to just keep losing ground to Carl Edwards. Edwards hasn't backed off at all, still running 26.8s and 26.9s consistently. His fastest lap of the race, 26.730, but that was likely a short run. Got around the lap truck of Carl Richards pretty quickly there, and he's got quite a bit of a gap before the next set of lap trucks, but once he gets there, there's going to be a ton of them in his way, if he gets there, of course, too. Only got 21 more laps. Well, according to NASCAR Heat 5, we have 3. That's true. It also said, you guys remember, if you remember at all, from the Xfinity Series Career Mode when it said we won the championship in a rookie season even though we didn't? Like, we didn't even make it to the championship 4. It was like, you have won the championship. That was pretty funny. Broda's Beefcake, welcome to the stream. Johnson rules. Jimmy Fan in there. Last 3 laps, Edwards has kind of slid the tires a little bit getting into turn 1. Doesn't want to back it down too much yet. We still got 19 laps to go. 2.5 second lead. Just praying it stays green, and if it does, this will be the 5th caution-free race of the season for the Craftsman Truck Series. Out of the 23 that we will have completed. We had a caution the final 30 laps last night at Martinsville, so we'll see. Down to 2.4 seconds is the difference between first and second at the line. Hamilton's slightly closing in, but he's not closing in quick enough to even put any pressure on Edwards, really, in the final couple laps of the race. So Edwards is doing just fine the way he is right now. Patrick remembers that Xfinity stuff. Again, he kind of slid the tires into turn 1. Quarter tank of fuel left, 16 laps to go. Again, Edwards should be good to the end on fuel, so it'll say fuel tank's almost empty those last few laps of the race, but we'll be all right. I can't say the same for everybody else. There's some drivers pitting there a good 5 laps, 6 laps before the halfway mark. They're going to have to really go a long time on fuel on the second run. They're going to want to make it to the finish, so that could be where we could see an accident. If somebody runs out of fuel and gets ran over from behind. Somebody's blowing an engine in the middle of 3 and 4, and that would be Wesley Schmidt, the 117 truck, trying to make it to pit road. Hopefully he can. 14 to go at the line. Edwards does not want to see a caution. I think there was an issue with, obviously, with Wesley Schmidt, but I think Bobby Hamilton Sr. might have either gotten into the back of him or had to check up quite a bit to not get into the back of him, because that lead has gone from 2.4 seconds to about 5 seconds even at the line that last time, 13 to go. So now there's a lot of pressure off of Edwards. There already was before with how consistent of lap times he was running. As those lap times now struggling to get back into the 26s. This is going to be a little bit better for him. Unless he's good on field to the end. He's racing to get to that white flag. And there is one attempt at a green-white checker finish. We've had 2 of them so far this season. We're currently leading the points there, Brodus. Quite a big margin. Over a 1-race lead in the point standings. We'll have 2 races to go after this one, so we could clinch a race early. So we back-to-back wins for Edwards as well, for winning at Martinsville last night. Travis Quaffle was in 3rd the last we saw of him. Not sure where he's running right now. He's had a very good season, but I believe he's had 2 or 3 DNFs, and that is the difference between where Quaffle and where Edwards is at points. Because Edwards hasn't had any DNFs. Knock on wood. 10 to go now here at Phoenix. Nine to go at the line. Yeah, it's still staying at 5 seconds now. It might be a good battle for second, though, with Hamilton having to check up. Hopefully he didn't have to go to pit road. Maybe he had an issue. We know Travis Quaffle is good on field at the end of the race, too. He took it 2 laps longer than Edwards, and Edwards should be a lap or 2 to the good. Still caution free. 8 to go. What a fast race pace tonight. Just over an hour so far into this race. These Truck Series races are quicker, but than even a Busch Series race, sometimes at least. As far as the length, about half, if not less than half, of a Cup race, but still just over an hour. Going caution free. It's bad fast. Grimsley with an aggressive block there in the 165 truck. Going into the dog leg as they race on the outside. They're going to let Edwards go down low. Edwards going to put those two drivers a lap down, if not more than one lap down. They're already a lap down. 6 to go. Not to mention that last lap, Edwards kind of slid the tires getting into the corner again. Turn 1. I'd say he's struggling for grip maybe a little bit more than what he did that opening tire stint of the race. He didn't make any adjustments, but maybe that rubber being laid down on this track to get later is changing the track conditions slightly as well. Back into the 26s though that last lap, despite sliding the tires into one. Had a 26.964 that last lap. 4 to go at the line. Again, no cautions come out on the final lap in these EA Sports NASCAR video games, but by getting there, he knows we want to have a green-white checker at least. Maxed out on the skill points now with a few laps to go. Racing to keep the W at this point. Three to go. 3 more miles for Carl Edwards. Lead is now out to 5.5 seconds as Hamilton might have gotten slowed up again. Again, whoever's in second. Edwards not even going to attempt to pass any more lap trucks. He's got a big lead. Really wants to get to the white flag as quick as possible, but a couple trucks right there in front of him. Troy Perry, Daytona winner. Up here, they were side by side a little bit ago. Oh, Edwards into the left rear of the lap truck ahead of him. Benny Allen in the 110. He didn't want to get under him, but then he kind of got into the left rear of him. Maybe a little more contact again, getting into turn 3 as well. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go at Phoenix. Fuel tank's almost empty, but it's plenty good to the end. At least 2 laps to the good. Half a mile to go now for Carl Edwards. 1 more corner. I guess he'll pass another lap truck while he's at it. I'm playing on it. 5.4 seconds ahead of second. An easy second half of the race here. Clean pit stop. Carl Edwards wins at Phoenix and inches closer to a 2004 Truck Series championship. We had the Polish victory lap last night. We'll do the normal style victory lap here in this one. Not going to have much more fuel left for burnouts anyway. Only having about 2 laps left to the finish. We can probably run a drive if we just ran a couple laps here. That's all right. Back-to-back wins late in the season for Carl Edwards. This one he didn't have to come back from. He was in the top 4 all night long. Led the most laps as well. Just dominated. Got a couple more allies. And, yeah, Bobby Hamilton actually fell back there late in the race. Lost time a couple different times. Look at that margin just between first and fourth in this race. My goodness. Only 150 laps. So there's a look at the top 10. Again, Carl Edwards with the win. He led 124 of the 150 laps tonight, dominating fashion. Travis Quaffle, who led 5 laps, he came in second in points. He finishes second, trying to keep pressure on Carl Edwards. Bobby Hamilton Sr. also trying to do the same. He came in third in points. He leads 20 laps, 5 bonus points as well for him. And again, finishes top 3. Barry Wilder 4th. And Brandon Witt rounds out the top 5. He might move into the top 5 in points with Bill Lester DNFing earlier. Lester came in 5th. Matt Crafton 6th. Cook 7th. John Wood 8th. Ryan Carter 9th. And Jack Sprague rounds out the top 10. And only the top 10 finished on the lead lap in this one. Take a look at who all DNF'd. I already mentioned Bill Lester was one of the drivers that DNF'd in this race. Chad Chafin, we saw him blow an engine early. Wesley Schmidt, we saw him blow an engine late. And those were the only 3 DNFs. So, only 3 drivers failed to finish. I think Wesley, so I saw 4 drivers blowing up, and I think Wesley Schmidt had blown an engine early in the race. They got it fixed, got back on the racetrack, passed Chafin, passed Lester. And then I think he ended up blowing an engine again late. Like really late in those final, what was it, like 8 to go or whatever when we passed him. So that's what I'm thinking happened, because I could have swore I saw somebody blowing up going onto pit road very early in the race, even before Chafin as well. So that's what I'd have to guess probably happened. Went back out there to grab a couple more positions for himself, even though he's not in the running for the championship. There were only 3 drivers that mathematically even had a chance at the championship coming in today, and they all finished 1 through 3. So 2 races to go. We go to Darlington under the lights for the next race, and then at Homestead Miami Speedway to round it out. It'll be a 200-mile, 147-lap race at Darlington. Not sure exactly when that stream will be. We'll have NASCAR Heat 5 tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Won't want to miss any of the action there. We're in the playoffs. For the Cup Series side of things, we'll be going to Richmond, the second race there. And then Friday night, likely going to WWE SmackDown event in Cleveland, so likely won't be streaming there. Well, if I do go, I won't be streaming at all. That starts at 8, and I get off work at 4:30, so there'll be no chance. It's about an hour and a half drive for me to get to Cleveland, too, and I don't want to get there too late so I can find parking and stuff. So I'll probably be leaving, like, right from work. Leaving, going up there with a buddy of mine. Yeah, that'll be my day. Then I'll have to work Saturday, too, so I definitely got to make sure I get back as soon as I can. All right. So we'll check the point standings out. Only expanded 10 points with that win today for Carl Edwards, but it was an expansion nonetheless. 316 points ahead of Travis Quaffle, and now Bobby Hamilton Sr. is mathematically out of the race for the championship after this one today. So it is a 2-horse race as we kind of expected. With about 10 to go, it was likely going to be a 2-horse race. Well, now it is between Carl Edwards and Travis Quaffle. 316 points is the difference. 190 points is the max amount of points you could score in a single race. So that's what Carl Edwards is looking for. He's got a good chance to maybe even clinch at Darlington, barring an issue, of course. And we'll check the poll awards, because for whatever reason, that's like the only main stat you can check in this game. With the season mode, at least. Career mode, you can check a lot more stats. But anyway, 7 polls on the year. So we lead there by 3 over Travis Quaffle. But Lester Quaffle actually just got his 4th pole of the race today. He qualified 2nd. Pretty good, pretty good. Try to see if we can get an 8th or a 9th in those last 2 races. So that's going to wrap things up here tonight. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Again, I'll see you guys tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your day tomorrow leading up to the stream. Again, thanks for your support as always. I'll catch you next time.